All right, welcome to episode 112 of My FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there's also a blog which can be found at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com, but also no matter where you are enjoying this content, whether you're listening to it or looking at it via video, look for the word intro. More. Maybe it says info, details. If you see that word, if you click on that, a box will open and a link to the blog will be there. And you could go to the blog and actually see the whole article, and you could follow along with the video or even the transcript. For those of you who say you can't understand me, which I know there's quite a few of you. But anyway, rss.com, my FX Buddies, does a transcript, and it's a pretty good one. All right. Also, anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify.com, just look for my FX Buddies, and if it's there, it'll come up. Okay, what else? Rumble. Rumble is where the video that you see on the blog is hosted. It's the exact same video, but I know some people just like video. So at rumble.com is my FX Buddies. You'll see that there. If you're watching this or listening to this on YouTube, what you think is a video is actually not a video. So if you look below what appears to be a video and look for the word more, click on that word and another box opens that has a link to the blog and some other things as well. I got some more support. Thank you. It's always a surprise, but much appreciated. Much appreciated. So thank you. Okay. What else? I think that's it. So we'll get into it. So yesterday was a good day. So today is Wednesday? Yes. It's Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. So, but yesterday was a good article day. I just couldn't fit in a recording. But something came out early in the morning and I almost did a video, another one where you just do the video. But right now I can't remember what it is, but we'll get into it. So, some of these are from yesterday and today. All right. So the title article is Iraq is close to completing its financial transfers electronically, and the US Treasury reveals its economic growth rate. So this is one of those articles where they put the full long one out, then they chopped it up and made other shorter articles with different titles, headlines, whatever. So, but bottom line is, so far they've gotten rave reviews. Um, so I don't have to read the title again because it's there, and you can see the people. I wonder. I feel like I talked about this already. I don't know. Maybe I did, but whatever. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know if you can hear that noise. All right. So let's see. What are some things they talked about? Again, they talked about there's still 5% of the banks of the transferring of the dollars is still done on that platform. A really big thing they keep talking about is the 6%. Their non-oil revenue has grown to about 6%, and they're really happy about that. All right, and here's another. This is a shorter version. See? I don't know. Maybe it just looks shorter to me because the letters are smaller. I don't know. But Al-Sudani reviews with U.S. financial official the government's efforts and plans for economic and financial reform. Like they don't know. Like they're not the ones dictating. Oh, I apologize. Forgive me. it just cracks me up. The Anyway, so yeah, so he's meeting with Wally. I don't know how to say his last name, and I'm just gonna mess it up. But he's the U.S. Deputy Secretary of the Treasury. So he met with him. But see how this article just has the two of them, but when you see the first article I put up, it's a room full of people talking. So let's see. During the meeting, economic relations between the two countries in various vital sectors were discussed, and the trend towards diversifying sources of Iraqi output. So that's weird. That's another word. It should say Iraqi income or revenue, but they use the word output. I would like some output. Okay, if that's another word for income or revenue, um, bring it on, I guess. So yeah, so they praised the progress witnessed by Iraq in the field of economics. All right, so that's that. Now, this article came out yesterday. It's really long, but it has details. I would normally, for this kind of article, I'd say if you're new and you don't fully understand the oil and gas law, HCL law, it's the same thing. Why does it have two different names? Because this is Dinar land, and we're probably not calling it by its right name. But there was something. Let me see. Um, so see this one is also talking about the investment law of 2007. So there's a couple of things in here. Legislations for the oil and natural resources law. So that's a different law. So if is this the one that I think Sadani said? There's about 32 laws. No, that's the salary. That's the salary law. But anyway, there's more than just one law involved with the HCL. More than one section of the Constitution. Here, this is. So if I would have done the post yesterday, I would have said, you know what, you should read this. But guess what? Oh, wait, and even in here, I think they said it looks like it's not going to get approved. Let's see. No, here it says the law would attract investment and make investment activity in the refinery sector successful due to its great importance to the country's economy. But prior to that, it says during the current session of Parliament, this law will not be passed. Ah, right? But what a difference a day makes. 24 little hours. Sorry, that is one of my favorite songs in the whole world. Sung by Nancy Wilson, who can actually sing though. Listen to this. Oops. Daddy Barzani to a parliamentary delegation. There is an opportunity to legislate the oil and gas law. Say what? But yesterday you said we've been working on this law for 19 years and it doesn't look like we're going to pass it. But they had a meeting with Daddy Barzani and he's the one. And not only that, look at the words they use here. So, this is Antoine. Let's see. Atwani, whatever. Can I make this bigger? It's, look, there's a room full of people here. So I can't get any bigger than that. But this guy right here is Atwani. And look at the decorations in this room. I don't like this one. But anyway, I like this right here. But, this, mm. Anyway, so that's Daddy Barzani, and that's Atwani. So they meet and they talk and they say, Atwani reviewed the files that the Finance Committee delegation came to discuss with the Kurdistan Regional Government, most notably the implementation of the provisions of the Federal General Budget Law, the Oil and National Wealth File. So they also talk about distributing the wealth to the people. And that's what the HCL is. And we have gotten so close. In, I think it was 2018, they had even told the people, I keep moving and it keeps making that thing pop up there. They had told them, look, there's 4 accounts. You're going to get a separate debit card for this money. I mean, we saw with our own eyes, but it got halted for some reason. So then they have another article about Atwani, movement to find understandings and radical solutions between the federal government and the region. And does it really need to be radical? I don't know. When you listen to the Kurds' perspective, that we just want our fair share. The Constitution says we should get X, Y, Z, and that's what we want. So other than that, I'm not sure what else. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. I'm not sure what else, other than just do the darn thing, right? And it probably is mostly done. They're just waiting. So Barzani stressed, this is the last paragraph of this article. Barzani stressed that the opportunity exists to legislate an oil and gas law to regulate the distribution of wealth, stressing his sincere desire to resolve the disputes between the central government, which is Baghdad, and the region, which is Kurdistan, expressing his support for the Finance Committee's movement in this regard. So there was a lot of meetings between yesterday and today. It seems like there were 3 separate meetings at least where they did talk. So maybe they got some things done. And here's just another article. A delegation from the Parliamentary Finance Committee visits Erbil to discuss several files. So, same, but I think this was yesterday. This was an article from yesterday. Now, I'm going to spend most of the time on this article. So, this came out late, I'll say early morning for us here in America. An imminent process to change the skin of the Iraqi dinar. What? Weird translation. I don't know, but removing zeros will reveal the extent of currency manipulation. So they didn't really say anything new other than changing the dinar's skin. It says, although this step carries promises of simplifying financial transactions, it raises concerns about its effect on the economy and citizens, especially in light of the inflation that the markets have been witnessing for a long time. Now, they pretty much have suffered the same condition. I'll say condition that we do, wherein our government is like, oh, inflation is only 3.4%, but we know good and well bacon's up 20%. Anything that you bought a year, 3 years ago is higher today, substantially, right? I was in shock, what, 2 years ago? I like honey. I love honey, okay? But it has to be raw, local grown. So I have this one that I like. It and it was expensive, like $12 was like expensive, right? But then I ran out and I went to go look. It was $26, more than double. But someone heard me complaining about it and they sent me $30. I was like, here, go get your honey. But yeah, right? So just anything. So it's the same thing in Iraq. Um, and how do I know? Because this guy, his name is Mustafa. He's like the man on the street, and citizens talk to him. And of course, it's all in Arabic. But this one particular time, he was at a market, and people were coming up to him, showing him what they had purchased, and you could tell they were saying, "Look, look, I spent X amount of money," and you could hear them saying, "Dinar, right? I spent blah blah blah, and this is what I got," and so you could tell they were upset. So, but for all what is intents and purposes, um, their inflation has been stable and low, right? So same thing. Okay, let's see. Same thing here, removing zeros from currency to revalue the national currency and nominal value of the currency, right? So same thing. Now, what's different? What about the value of the dinar? Same thing. The last paragraph is different. It says steps to strengthen the dinar. And this guy, here's his name. He's an economic expert, and he just goes on to explain the steps that they've done. He talks about the strength of their reserves, how much gold they have, 36 billion accumulated in savings held in JP Morgan, but they did not and will not affect the strength of the Iraqi currency, according to the economic expert. And look at this. He goes on to say, now this, I've never seen a person say this. Al-Anzi believes that linking the Iraqi currency's evaluation completely to the dollar through negotiations with the US Federal Reserve will allow for improving the strength of the Iraqi dinar, stressing that this step will make the Iraqi dinar stronger than the Jordanian dinar. And I don't know why he picked on the Jordanian dinar. And you could go and look up, I think they're like $2.31 because the Kuwaiti dinar, and I do mean to say Kuwait in this instance. We know the Kuwaiti dinar is usually the strongest currency in the world. So I know why he didn't pick that one. But yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. He's not representing the CBI, he's not in government, but clearly he's important enough where they put his opinion in the paper, right? Or this website. Um, Also, Anzi, that's his last name, points out that the step of deleting zeros is not useful in improving the value of the Iraqi dinar compared to the countries of the region, considering it is a step that will only change digital transactions and has no positive value. And we know that's if they don't do other things. If they don't change the rate, there's multiple things that have to happen at the same time for this all to work the way most of us think it's going to, right? Okay, so we have 19 minutes. So again, if you go to the blog, this article is titled An Imminent Process to Change the Skin of the Iraqi Dinar. And that paragraph that talks about the Jordanian dinar is the very last one under steps to strengthen the dinar. Now, if you were here when Abadi was prime minister, he used to tell the people they would have the strongest currency in the world, not just the region. Then another prime minister said they would have the strongest currency in the region. So this guy was like, we'll be stronger than the Jordanian dinar. are. All right, so moving on. Washington calls on Baghdad to reopen the Seyhan. That's how Sadani pronounces that. Seyhan oil export pipeline. So this group right here, this APICOR, is like a conglomerate group of international oil companies operating in the Kurdistan region. They're like, hey, come on now. We've lost over $20 billion. Let's get this going. So, and I think it's been 20 billion. Did I say million? $20 billion. And they've been using this figure for at least 4 months. So it's probably more like $30 billion that they've lost. But so they ran this, and was this the one, Washington? Yeah. Washington calls on Baghdad to do that. And oh, this I'm trying to be orderly, but some days I just can't make it. So here, for some reason, this is Jamal Cooker. He is in the Parliamentary Finance Committee, and he said Iraq is experiencing good and stable economic conditions. So that's excellent. That's what we want to hear, right? And he's someone who would know. Let's see. Let's skip that. Man. Well, there's an article. Here we go. Turkey. Here he is. Erdogan. Iraq and Turkey discuss activating memorandum of understanding signed between the two countries. So he is part of the reason why that pipeline's not flowing. So they would need his signature, right? They'd need him to say, okay, let's do it. Even though, if you don't remember, Sadani was interviewed on Bloomberg and was specifically asked, what do you need to get that pipeline going? And he said, well, we either have to have some of the companies be willing to redo their contracts, or we have to amend the budget. You know how hard it is to amend the budget. But so yeah, so on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, Sadani met with Erdogan and possibly someone from our government, right? Maybe we'll get that done. Okay, so we talked about that. Now here, Prime Minister, we will switch to the correspondent banking system to conduct 100% of foreign transfers by early 2025. So there we are. Early 2025 would be January 2025. But hopefully, now see, something has happened because they were saying they were going to be done by the end of the year. So now they're already saying, well, we'll be done by early 2025. But don't get discouraged by that. Remember, these are just articles. There's stuff they can't, they have to be careful what they put in articles, right? So don't freak out. Okay, so I am actually very excited about this. The Central Bank of Iraq decides to close the Babylon Bank. So remember when they were saying, okay, look, either you banks, you're either going to get with the program or we're going to shut you down. And here's one, at least one, and this, who knows, there may be others. But it decided, so the Central Bank of Iraq decided to close the Babylon Bank. According to a document issued by the Central Bank of Iraq, and here's the document. I've been moving and I don't know why that's doing that. I get irritated by things like that. Okay, so according to the document, addressed to the Babylon Bank and received by the news, it decided to refer the bank to forced liquidation based on the provisions of Article blah, blah, blah. And here's the guy's name. And I was saying to someone, this man's name is he has a very powerful name. Ahmed Abdul Mahdi. Those three names right there are very, not only common, but very powerful names. I don't know about his last name. I don't know about that. But anyway, so he's the one in charge of liquidating your bank. So yeah, so that's one. And this has to be progress um, from what's going on from them meeting, right? From meeting with the US Treasury. And Aaliyah Locke isn't even there yet, I don't think. I don't think he's there. But anyway, so let's see. I already talked about that. And here, this was the big news today, and this is also why I don't think Aaliyah Locke has gone yet. Central bank governor announces success of digital transformation plan in Iraq. So I think, oh, you know what? The Let me see. Okay, look at this. So remember they had that big announcement, that conference thing they had on Monday, right? See this ESG, everyone knows what ESG is, right? Environmental, social, and governmental. Well, look, they have a PDF. They've made a PDF, but I can't get it. See how it's not clickable. So maybe they'll make it, I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with the rate change anyway, but I'm just nosy. I just like to see what I can see, right? But yeah, so for now, it's not it's not made available. At least I I can't get it. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay. But what they're really emphasizing this, and that's why I'm thinking this may be something different. They're not really focusing on the ESG, and um they're not focusing on the 60 or 70 applications for digital banks. So I think this is something different, but they are they're just announcing success of digital transformation plan, and Iraq has now advanced sorry Iraq now has advanced infrastructure to accommodate electric payment tools and financial services of all kinds, so that we can soon move to the transformation to digital banks in which the mobile phone will be the one leading the various operations. And remember, I told you they had those commercials where they were showing them using their phone. They were tapping their phone to the point of sale machine, and they were tapping their phone to the ATM. So they are just moving those people right along into the digital world, right? But that's good for us, I think, because it shows they're ready, and they're if they're being allowed to move forward, they must be doing what we want them to do too. All right, he pointed out that a large percentage of Iraqis own mobile phones, and this is an advantage that we must invest in to carry out this task. All right, so I think I got everything. There was a lot, but I really just picked out what I thought was the best. So here, I'm sure you're aware of what's going on between, I'm not even going to say the land that starts with L. I'm not even going to say that anymore because it took like 4 hours for YouTube to let the video process. So I have to think of a word for that. I don't know. I don't know, but so this came out today, and you know we sent troops to the Middle East. Isn't this a beautiful picture? Look at that. all these properties and it's night until you go, oh wait, what's the smoke here? This billowing smoke. Not so pretty now, right? But yeah, so that was something that um a kablooey hit, right? So here's the title of this: Ice Cream Land Silence After Bombing. Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Oh well. Eilat, is that how you say that? Eilat port, and talk of threats to strike Iraq. That would not be good. And let me tell you why they're saying that. The militias, I think I can say militia, the militia groups that are mm, engaging in drone, flying drones, but the drones are what? Loaded with kablooies, right? Those drones, they're coming out of Iraq. It's no secret. They know they are. They say, hey, we just sent off two blah, blah, blah drones and they're headed for, you know, where they're going. So, um, yeah, that's not good. And, what's his name? Sudani knows, so he must be okay with it. So that'll be the next thing we'll have to hear. Blinken, I guess, or maybe Austin. I don't know. I'm not sure really who makes the decisions um, on things like that right now. They'll have to decide. Um, do we let Ice Cream Land drop kablooies on Iraq? I hope not. But there must be something about the positioning, because why do they need to be, why do they need to initiate it from Iraq? Is it the, the mileage? Is it, I don't know. I don't know why, but it is happening. So that is, everything else is good. Don't want to end on a somber note, but I don't know if many people are talking about that. And then people wonder, well, why didn't this happen? This is a new development. This happened about 4 o'clock this evening, California time. Yeah, so I don't know. But then also I saw that Netanyahu, I think I can say that, he said, well, it's been 72 hours, so maybe now we'll talk about uh, a ceasefire. And then Saturday, there's going to be several meetings. I think the UN had an emergency session on the name of the country I just said I'm not going to say. And Saturday in Iraq, Parliament is going to hold a special session about it also. So, um, it's definitely the most top of mind issue, right, for people in that area. So we'll see what happens. But meanwhile, Iraq is here meeting all kinds of people, making deals, or at least saying, hey, let's make some deals. So it's all good on that front. All right. So I hope this helped. So that's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 days in a row now where they've been talking about removing the zeros. That's pretty awesome. We'll see. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the week. Tomorrow's Thursday. Things usually slow down, but who knows? So if there's anything post-worthy and my schedule allows it, I will post. But thank you for listening. I hope this is helpful. And I will say, accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. Well, just the important ones, your rent and your car. Maybe your light bill. I think you need electricity to listen to me on the internet, right? Oh, I'm just kidding, but things are getting tight for people, and they are having to make decisions about stuff like that. It's no joke. All right. So wherever you're enjoying this content, if there's a join, follow, subscribe, whatever type button like that, take whatever action is necessary to activate that. Since I don't update regularly, if you activate those functions and they work like they're supposed to, when I do update, you'll be notified. And so enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you're enjoying this content. And until next time.